Okay.
room.
Everyone in the room?
Maybe just your team.
well, well, thank you very much for coming. My name is Alex Oma-Pius, and yes, I will introduce you to the team. Actually, I that's very interesting. I can see a member of our management committee here, Jenny Copsey. Jenny, can you wave it to everyone? Oh, thanks for coming. That's wonderful. Um, oh, um, yes, the team. Juwon Ogungbe, where are you? Juwon Ogungbe, can you wave it? Yes, that's the composer. Yes, and lyricist. We have Lizzie. Lizzie, where is our Lizzie there? There she is. And Jasper. Jasper Zambli, where are you? There is Jasper. Okay. So, yeah, those are the team. But and we come to, oh, who have we got here? We've got Paul, all the way from Kent. Wow, that's interesting, Paul. That's a member of our management committee. Well done, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yes, I think I need to tell you, before we start, tell you a little bit about um, the stories of Africans living in Newham. You know, I mean, we are really privileged to be part of the Newham Heritage Month celebration. And it was a tough one in the sense that how do you present the stories of Africans living in Newham, knowing that Africans have been living here for a very, 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 very long time. But the good thing was this, we're talking about, businesses, those who are now making the high street of Newham, to be a buoyant place. And this is where we got researchers involved. We had the privilege of having two wonderful volunteers whom I'm not sure. I will check if I hope they are present here today, who helped us to carry out research and identify some individuals within the borough, and we were able to identify about 5 people, and one of them is Patrick Ide, the founder of Bantu Way. Some of you may know Bantu Way. Bantu Way is like the first EC approved meat, fish, and poultry cutting plant in Newham. Would you believe that? In Newham, the first EC approved. Now you can go to one place and be able to buy meat, buy fish. When we're talking about meat and fish, we're not talking just ordinary. These are things that African specific, the type of meat Africans like to eat. You see, that you might not find in Tesco and any other shop. So this is what Bantu Way has been able to achieve. Of course, now you can go there and buy our tough Pluvera chicken. Pluvera chicken, you need a saw chain to cut, but that is what we like to eat. You can find it there. It's all this achievement. This is someone who has been carrying out all these things, despite all the obstacles, either in setting up the factory in an area, dilapidated area that nobody would want to do anything in before, and he was able to set up the factory there. His achievement is even crowned, recognized by the Queen. So it's all this through um, the oral stories that our researchers, all what they carried out. We found all these interesting stories about the people. Then, of course, you have a young man, Eme Enemoku, who has an online fashion outlet, Jeho Carl. This is someone who was living in Newham, schooled in Newham, and in his own word, he actually wanted to reclaim his own city. Let's call Newham a city. Yes, to reclaim it. How? Because when he was young and schooling here, he went through bad times at school, and so on. Even the parents, they had to move him away from Newham. But he came back to Newham to set up his own fashion outfit. That is very, very interesting. And it takes a lot of guts to say, to do that. His fashion outlet, Jehu Call, is recognized everywhere. He's being sold all over the world. The BBC has done, documentary about him. He's featured in Vogue. A young guy, even at the time he was in university. This was when he actually created his outfit. We think this is a really, really impressive achievement for these people. And of course, one of our contributors, a young lady, Hafza Yusuf, a Somalian, Muslim woman who, why is this important? At the time they were looking for, you were expecting her to become a doctor or become an engineer. What did she want to be? She wanted to be a designer. She wanted to be a designer, and there was nothing to look forward. Nobody to look forward to. Nobody to inspire. But this is her own belief that this is what I want to do. And thank goodness, the family, and friends, they were there to support her. And today she's the CEO of Hafza Studio. Again, this is a studio that has been nationally recognized. Some of you may have seen her work on television, BBC, and she lives here in Newham. She lives here in Newham. Another business which actually interested us was how what do you call it, Interface Gambia and Youth Club. Interface Gambia and Youth Club, the co-founder, Sherif Jameh, they call him Big C. How they were able, to manage a youth club, and look at it as a sort of a business model whereby they will be, selling food and bringing young people, using food to draw young people into a place whereby they can build their confidence, give them opportunity to acquire skills in media production and fashion and food. We find that very, very interesting because you sit down with people, they are discussing about their future, but all around food. And it's a big achievement. One of the things we discovered, during our oral interviews, what was going the theme that was common in some of, in almost all the people, who are participating in this project is well-being, well-being. And we found an organization, Heal Together, set up by Anap Hoffman, and after all the troubles and tribulations that, those business owners, they go through, at some point, there is the need for someone to look after their well-being. And we thought that this is a very good thing, a thriving well-being organization set up here in Newham that is part of our project. So these are the things you will be watching, they've been reflected, their stories are up there on Newham Heritage website. We are not telling their stories. You can go to the website and read their stories. What we are doing is to celebrate some of the themes that was running through all the oral stories, and the themes of hard work. These people, they really worked hard to achieve what they have achieved. Their resilience, at times in serious hardship. For somebody like a Bantu, if anybody who knows Canning Town, where the factory is now, it's a no-go area, nowhere you could cite some then about 10, 50 years ago, but that is where the factory is today. That is a thriving one as that as well. So we want to celebrate their resilience, and their achievement, because they have all achieved. And the through African way, we want to do this through music, through singing, through dance and masquerade. And this is why we have invited you this evening to come and gyrate with us. So it's African you know, you are welcome to African Gyration, and I leave you to Rosie. I don't know, Juwon, is there anything you want to add? Juwon is, like I said before, is the composer and the lyricist. He's here. You can unmute yourself. Please, if you want to add before we start streaming and let people gyrate with us, please.
Yes, well, I'll just say hello, good evening to everyone. And that word gyration comes from um, a sort of like, well, fraternity stroke sorority that you'd find like in universities, well, certainly in Nigeria, called the palm wine drinkers or the kegites. Whenever they had events together, um, they'd call them gyrations. And they have a whole sequence of things they do within those. And so we thought the idea, we had this idea that it could be like an expo or a trade fair of some sort happening in the Stratford shopping complex or centre, um, involving most of these services, goods and services, uh, inspired by the people that Alex has mentioned. So thank you very much.
Lovely. I'll now start the film.
Hello, and welcome to Newham Heritage Month 2021. We are from IROKO Theatre Company, and today we are going to present to you a performance called Stories of Africans Living in Newham. Now, the piece is inspired by true life stories that we have gathered from people that provide goods and services in the borough of African backgrounds. So we hope you'll enjoy it.
Shalom. Shanti. Mir. Pashem.
Let's meet at the Afro Gyration. It is a pop-up market in Stratford. African communities selling goods in unity. What is there not to love? main attraction to remember our ancestors.
And while you're looking, I can stock up a Blueberry chicken. It comes from the European Union, and the prices are likely to rise.
I need to get some woven fabrics from Djibouti and Somalia, and design a dress from Egypt for a wedding I'll attend this summer.
Let's meet at the Afro Gyration. It is a pop-up market in Stratford. African communities selling goods in unity. What is there not to like?
Let's meet at the Afro Gyration. It is a pop-up market in Stratford.
Meet me in the shopping complex.
You know it's going to be fun.
Welcome to Afro Gyration.
Oh,
Welcome to Afro Gyration.
everyone goes in line.
Welcome to Afro Gyration. Are you ready to sample? Are you ready to move with him?
Yes, it's time to sample your ways. It's time to sample your ways. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your ways. It's time to sample your ways. It's time to sample your ways. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your ways. Hey!
Interface Gambia makes great food.
Makes great food, makes great food.
Interface Gambia makes great food.
Shall we stop for a bite?
I want to stop at Bantue.
Back to where while I can. Hey, 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 hey. time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares. Yeah. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares.
They will slow down for a while. Take a rest to chat and smile. Afro Gyration. Are you ready to sample? Are you ready to move with him?
Yes,
oh,
yes, it's time to sample your ways. It's time to sample your ways. Everyone's here to buy and sell.
It's time to sample your ways. It's time to sample your ways. It's time to sample your ways. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your ways.
Hey!
Juwon Ogungbe. Lizzie Dosimo. Jasper Zamble.
Alex Oma-Pius.
I think we should unmute and
Hey.
fantastic, amazing, how amazing, how special to watch it with all of you as well. I'm going to hand over now to Juwon, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Now you get a chance to sing, well, one of the songs anyway that you just heard in that screening. And it's the one, well, the one you just heard, actually, Time to Sample Your Wares, but we're going to do the whole thing. It doesn't mean you have to sing every single word of it, but you'll sing some parts of it. And to get going, it might be nice to do a little bit of a warm up. So maybe if everyone can like mute their microphones, so you can only just hear me, then that will make things kind of easier for everyone, I think. So we're just going to start with like a long yeah, just singing yeah. So it'll be like yeah, like that, okay? So you run out of breath, yes? So like yeah. Thank you, Asi, for that comment. Yeah. I think I do have like a turn on original sound already, and I'm not using a PC. I'm using a mobile device, so it's a little bit complicated to go into all of that now. Sorry. All right, so like, welcome to Afro Gyration. So if you could sing, oh, hey, oh, hey. So that's the response. Thank you, Clive. And so it's like, welcome to Afro Gyration. And your response is, oh, hey. And again, welcome to Afro Gyration. And you respond again, oh, hey. And then I sing, everyone calls him Lion Man. And you respond, oh, hey. And then, welcome to Afro Gyration. And one last time, oh, hey. So maybe we could try that first, just to get a feel for it, okay? And I'll play the introduction first. I mean, you've already heard the music before, so you get a sense of it. So like. Welcome to Afro Gyration. Oh, hey. Welcome to Afro Gyration. Oh, hey. Everyone calls him a Lion Man. Oh, hey. Welcome to Afro Gyration. Oh, hey. So that's the first beat of the song. It goes on. Are you ready to sample? Are you ready to move with him? And you sing, yes, oh, yes, oh. You know, we say, oh, for emphasis. So it's like, yes, oh, indeed, yes, yes, indeed. Yes, oh, yes, oh. And then we're into the main tune, which is, it's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. And then it's everyone's here to buy and to sell. It's time to sample your wares. Okay, so all of that section goes. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and to sell. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and to sell. It's time to sample your wares. Yes, and then we have an interlude which goes like this. We're to Interface Gambia, one of the businesses within Newham that was part of the research. So, Interface Gambia makes great food, makes great food, makes great food. Interface Gambia makes great food. Shall we stop for a bite? I'll sing that one more time in case you want to sing along on that. It goes. Interface Gambia makes great food, makes great food, makes great food. Interface Gambia makes great food. Shall we stop for a bite? Okay, and then another interlude which goes. And then we're into the Bantu Way section. I want to stop at Bantu Way, while I can. I want to stop at Bantu Way, while I can. So what I'm going to do now is go from the Interface Gambia section through to the Bantu Way section. So you get a chance to sing along and feel it in full flow, okay? So. Interface Gambia makes great food, makes great food, makes great food. Interface Gambia makes great food. Shall we stop for a bite? I want to stop at Bantu Way, while I can. And then. And the next one is for Yehu Cow. Here you can buy designer clothes, specially made by Yehu Cow. I'll do that again. Here you can buy designer clothes, specially made by Yehu Cow. And then we're back to. It's time to sample your wares. So you've heard that before anyway. So what we can do now is go from the very beginning and see if we can sing all the way through. All right. Welcome to Afro Gyration. Oh, calls him a lying man. Hey, welcome to Afro Gyration. Hey, are you ready to sample? Are you ready to move with him? Yes, all. Yes, all. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares. Interface Guardian makes great food, makes great food, makes great food. Interface Guardian makes great food. Shall we stop for a bite? I want to start, I plan to wait while I can. Here you can buy designer clothes, specially made by IROKO. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. It's time to sample your wares. Everyone's here to buy and sell. It's time to sample your wares. Then we'll slow down for a while. Take a rest to chat and a smile. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I saw lots of singing faces there. I'd like everyone to, yes, clap. Lots of enthusiasm in that. Thank you so much, Juwon. That was amazing. And
Thank you.
I'd like everyone to, we've got a time now where we can ask some questions of the people involved with the performance, but also about the project as a whole. So if there's so many nice comments coming in through chat, everyone's saying amazing and well done and all this amazing original work. It's so incredible, so incredible.
I can,
Go on.
sorry, I can see one of the researchers, yes, Cynthia, please. Yeah, that is one of our beautiful researchers. Hello, Cynthia, where are you? You disappeared again. Yeah, there she is.
Hello.
Hi.
That was so good. Such a
Thanks
nice
for
show. Got
thanks
my
for
dinner
joining
here as
us.
well.
Have you seen the performance before?
I saw a little preview, but definitely wasn't the show it was today.
Amazing. And what was it like working on the project?
It was really nice, actually. It was, I think, you just because it's been lockdown, you're talking to all the same people all the time. So it was nice, actually, to see some new faces, meet some new people, and hear their stories, which I really enjoyed. And also knowing that it was going to be turned into this creative piece was really exciting.
I think that's So impressive. Can I ask if anyone is able to unmute themselves and ask a question of anyone in the audience, Alex or the team or Cynthia? If you've got any questions, please do unmute yourself, or feel free to ask them in chat if you prefer.
I've got one question. Can people hear me?
Yes, we can, Martin. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Martin. I live in Upton Park, and I enjoyed it very much today. I've been to 4 or 5 of the countries that you mentioned in the show, and I'm interested in how it could be reinforced and developed, because there could be, I know Newham, the regeneration unit, or other places organize tours occasionally. So these shops could be visited either by volunteer guides or by the regeneration people, and people could learn the song and make a little bit of a mini show. And then there's a lot of churches. If you're looking at Africans in Newham, the single biggest concentration of Africans will be in the churches that meet certainly on Sundays. Now, that's delicate with Newham Council because there's not meant to be a direct link with religion, but there's ways around that, because you don't have to talk about religion in how you celebrate what you're doing today. But these people can sing and play music. So I won't go on there, but I'm just interested in what Alex or Rosie or anybody else think about follow-up, because there are opportunities there. There are small Somali organizations, for instance. The head teacher of the Kia Hardy School in Canning Town is from Tanzania. The head teacher of Bampton Manor Academy is from Nigeria, and very well known nationally. So there's all sorts of opportunities and resources and people that could be built on. I don't know what the people this afternoon think.
Alex? I was really, I was just about to say before, Alex, sorry, but because you sort of addressed it to me as well. So I think that that's a fantastic idea. And the church, I went to a wonderful church, St. Martin's, I think, off in Plaistow, that had a large congregation of people from Guinea-Bissau. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a really wonderful, thriving collective community of people who come from all over London to churches in Newham to celebrate together, which is really worth, exploring, finding out more about. But Alex, I had a question for you, maybe sort of adjoined to that. Did you consider every African nation? Do they all have representation in Newham? How did you choose your subjects?
It was difficult because, I mean, as Cynthia mentioned before, because of the lockdown, and so it was difficult actually connecting people. We to get to our contributors. In fact, we had to use a local journalist, to find out, if they had a list of African businesses, that we are not, aware of. I'm Nigerian. I know of a lot of Nigerian businesses, and I don't want this to become a Nigerian affair. So we wanted to make this geographically, spread, so that we're going out of West Africa, East Africa. We were looking at all the geographical Africa, region to represent. Unfortunately, we couldn't cover the whole African continent, but we managed to, to get this up to East Africa, I think. Yeah, that is, it was a bit difficult.
Does anyone else have any questions? Clive, go on.
I'd like to hear from Juwon more about the musical inspiration.
Okay, thank you. The musical inspiration. That's quite a sort of wide thing, actually, because it started from reading the transcripts of the interviews that the researchers had carried out, which was quite a lot of work. actually, with everything else that I'm sort of doing at present. But so I just got a general kind of feeling of, you know, like themes that were running through well, the experiences, I guess, of the different people and the goods and services they provide within the borough. So that sort of gave me a starting point, you know, a stimulus, as it were, for creating something. But then, well, I've done a lot of composition for IROKO in the past, so there is a way that I compose when I'm working with IROKO, like you could say my IROKO style, as it were. But then I also thought of, you know, the lyrics and that sort of thing, and this idea of having like the masquerade and all of that. So in a way, the music sort of came out of like visualizing the scenarios. So it was like very much an organic sort of development in that sense. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, great, thank you.
What's the masquerade? I don't know what that means.
Okay, like within many West African cultures, there are masquerade festivals, and well, I mean, Alex and I had a little bit of a sort of agreement, strict disagreement about this before, but my understanding usually is that the masquerades are representatives of like ancestral spirits, and so in this context, well, certainly the masquerade that I was envisaging in the beginning, visualizing for in this narrative, would be one that was, you know, somehow embodying the spirits of like of ancestors of people of African ancestors who lived in the borough, you know, and who even lived like in Africa, ancestors of people who lived within Newham, as it were, but then there are masquerading families, so they're families that have a special thing of like every year they do that. They kind of present the masquerade. Does that sort of explain? Yeah.
Yeah. Any other question?
Sorry. Hi, Sandra. I'm at the library as a heritage assistant. First of all, thanks to Alex and everyone else for that fantastic performance. I saw your presentation last year, but I think you've gone to another level this time around in the way that you have combined the baritone narrator with your African instruments and the dancing and the masquerade. I come from the Caribbean, and we see that like in our carnivals sometimes, the use of the masquerade. So that brought back memories for me. Last evening, I went to the Newham Poetry Group's presentation. They had some readings on poems that were created for Newham Heritage Month based on persons visiting markets. So tonight's performance is like another way of representing in artistic form how people perceive shops and sampling your wares, because I can imagine that Time to Sample Your Wares is going to be the theme song for the rest of the month. It really was a nice repetitive tone. And I think we probably have to find a way, how do we combine the different artistic methods that have been used throughout the month to express how people feel, what are people's experiences as they go through the shopping experience. Right.
Thank you
And
very much.
Alex, it's good to see, Alex, the fruits of your work when you come to St. John's in the basement.
Oh, thank you very much.
What's she talking about?
Well, because That was what we were using for rehearsal, you know,
Yeah,
our
it's all very
rehearsal.
clandestine what we do, like in St. John's. That's all very secret.
You see, because there is masquerade, we don't want everybody to see it. Thank you very much, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Sure.
I wanted
Martin.
to know, but there was a question in chat just from Asif about how it all began, but I suppose I wanted to also just to expand on that a little bit and just know from Lizzie and your dancer, I've forgotten his name, sorry.
Gasper.
What it was like working with this very modern kind of story. Was that the sort of thing that you're used to doing, to learning these words and coming up with movements to represent that?
Well, yeah, for me, I would say, yeah, I'm used to it. Yeah, because from Nigeria, I've been doing something like this. Nigeria's changed now. Normally, we do singing, dancing on stage and all that. So it's something that I've been used to a long time. So it's not like
But you're a really talented performer. I can see that. But is this modern, like it being about something that could be at the market on a Saturday? Like isn't it normally about traditional stories from a long time ago?
Not really. I think, well, this is a new thing in a way. Yeah, I think it's something that could be used in the market. It's something that could be introduced and telling people sampling to sample the wares. I don't know how to explain it. It's amazing. It's like a theme. What's it called? How would I say it? To bring to people something new, to introduce to people to use in the markets and all that. As someone said earlier, that the song is going to be in their head for a long time. It will be back. Even when we finished the recording and everything, throughout the week, that was what kept coming to my head. It's time to sample your work. And I'm thinking, oh, it's okay, this song, I don't want to sing you anymore. In my head, it kept coming. So I think it's something new, it's something exciting, something to introduce to people that they could use it. I wish the Afro Gyration could really be done, just like the carnivals, how we do the carnivals and everything. I wish we could really do it live at the market and people see it and they incorporate it into their daily lives and things like that. So it is something new that could be explored, I feel.
Can I say something about that actually? Like, well, this is kind of that sort of like response to what Asif was asking about. About 10 years ago, someone I know used to put on these events with African dance and other things in shopping centers, sort of upmarket shopping centers. So like the Westford, like in Shepherd's Bush, you know, Whiteley's, like in Queensway, and all those kind of places. And then like in Thurrock, is it Blue Water, all those, that type of like shopping center anyway. And he used to get together like African performers to do some kind of show. I don't know where he raised the money from, but you know, for a while it was kind of a thing that was ongoing, and so I sort of remembered that, and that sort of informed my kind of visualization of like these songs. If that makes sense.
But just to add to that, and what Lizzie said about, you know, wanting to see Afro Gyration, and because it's one of the things I've been thinking myself, because if you look at, I mean, Newham Heritage, they've tried, you know, to actually fund this project. Rosie, if you remember, this is supposed to be for only 3 people. The fact that you even have a drummer, me, there is an additional, which is not in the budget. The reason I'm saying that is that the performance as it is now, everybody who knows about masquerades, about African celebration, you are looking for group performance. You know, like that dancer there now, you have only one person dancing. You know, to actually make this like a full performance, you are looking for a cast of about 5 to 7 people, who will be singers, you'll be having dancers, you're having more musicians, a lot of dramatics will enter into this. I see this as a full-blown production. We've just done this for it is about 20 minutes just singing, but this is a full-blown production because we can then bring elements of the characters of the people we're talking about. We can bring them in a way to actually have conversational speech within the performance. So I don't know, we just keep the space, watch the space, really. Maybe if we can get funding to produce, it would be nice to produce this live.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's such an ambitious performance and it's fantastic, but really you might have decided that it was too much and that you couldn't achieve it with the cast and things. But I'm so glad you just went for it, and it's such an experience and achievement to have done it.
That's why
to this
that's
level.
why it's good to work with professionals.
Yeah. And Clive, do you have a comment or a question?
Well, I do, but since Lizzie just said it's so good to work with professionals, maybe it's not. I was just going to say that there's lots of schools that I know would love to do that show with you. Just saying, I'm in music, and I know that there's so many kids that would love it.
You're absolutely right. Maybe that's another option to actually explore. To do it as a school, using as student, to do the production. That will still be amazing, and we'll still have the professionals to actually teach them.
Do you think that you could add other stories from other African countries and other African individuals that you meet?
Absolutely. I mean, because this is a creative. I mean, it's a creative process. It's open to widening, really. Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Go on. Hello. What would you like to say?
My name is Yinka Dosum. I'm Lizzie's senior brother.
Oh.
That's my older brother. Yeah.
So I live in Belgium, and I want to say that it was lovely. I really enjoyed it, and Mr. Juwon's voice with my sister's voice, it was just magical. It was beautiful.
But you didn't talk about my voice. What happened?
I didn't hear you. I saw you on the drums, but I didn't hear you sing. But it was a very, very beautiful and beautifully executed. So I'm gonna say, for me, I missed this kind of thing because when I was living in Holland, I was a part of a group called African Heritage, and we do go to schools, churches, and we do perform too there. And since everybody broke up, this one went this way, this one went this way. It kind of died down, and seeing this one right now, it brought back many things, memories, and it's just, whoa, I was feeling just goosebumps everywhere while I was watching and listening to that. So I would just say, please, please, please find funding and blow this up and bring it to this part of the world, because I know many people around here too that would love to see things like this. And I still have many contacts in Holland too that would like to see this. But
so Yinka, just a minute. Sorry, can I ask you, Yinka? Where do you live in Belgium?
I live in a small village called Tongeren, but I do go to. I have many people. I lived in Antwerp before.
Okay.
Yeah, but
because there's a lot of African stuff in Antwerp, isn't there?
Too many, many, because they always call me, because they still have every year they have because of Corona now it stopped. They always have a Yoruba Day.
Yeah. In
And
Antwerp,
so they all
obviously like in Brussels, yeah.
yeah, so they always call me. I always go there, and I always lead the your masquerade out and everything.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so I kind of miss all this, and it will be beautiful if, yeah, this kind of thing, you can blow this up and bring it to this part of the world, and you know, to yeah, show them and give them other ideas and everything, because it's like it's only one thing they do every time, every time, and every year. But because of Corona now, everything is like down. So this is beautiful. I really, yeah, thank you very much for doing this, and I hope,
Thank you.
you know, you will, yeah, blow this up, and yeah, and anytime you want to do this, I will be there in England to watch it.
Lovely.
Rosie,
Thank
let's
you.
take
Welcome.
let's
Thank
take
you so
Newham to
much.
Belgium.
Yeah, Newham on
Yes,
tour.
bring it
And
on.
also,
Bring it on.
Asif, Asif has suggested Newham's Got Talent. It's kind of, you know, this idea that, you know, you don't know the people who are able to perform and make such wonderful work from research. You know, you've just gone out and interviewed people and found out their stories and turned it into this wonderful music and performance. And it's such a special thing. And thank you so much for sharing it with us this evening. It's just amazing. Has anyone got any last questions before we say goodbye? No, I think we're all good. I think, Martin, you need to unmute. Sorry.
Yes, just I'd like to endorse what Sandra and a few other people have said, in the sense something like shopping and food is a focus and interest of many people when it comes to ethnic dimensions like Africa and so on. And she also mentioned the Newham Poetry Group. And one of the people in the Newham Poetry Group, Sonia Quintero, who's from Colombia, is interested to do a project later in the year with Queen's Market, which is the large street market, if you like, that's covered in Green Street in Upton Park. I actually live just next door to that, and I put a proposal for to the regeneration people that there should be a hub or a space in Queen's Market to celebrate the diversity of Newham, because we don't have a museum that expresses the diversity of Newham. And there could be a small space in Queen's Market to celebrate the food, to let people talk about the food, but also bring schools in to celebrate and sing songs and stuff like that. So with Newham Poetry Group and schools and these type of things and places like Queen's Market, there's a big opportunity for people like Alex and those people that perform tonight to build on that as one outlet.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you so much. I think we're probably, well, there is one very good question. That's a fantastic idea. How brilliant. Queen's Market, I think, is going to have a lot of things going on. There's a lot of regeneration plans around there, and it's a wonderful place to visit on Green Street. Just a very brief, light-hearted last question. Did you find out any, maybe this is one for Cynthia if she's still here, did you find any good market stall calls, market cries? Who's the new one pound fish man?
No, none that I'm aware of, but yeah, none that they were doing over Zoom to me. Maybe if I'd gone and visited in person, it would have been a different story.
Did you do all your interviews over Zoom?
Yeah, unfortunately we had to, just because of the restrictions. But hopefully, and we had also, it would have been nice if we could have gone into the market and, you know, recorded some of the sounds so that you get a bit more of the experience there. But yeah.
Well, you did an amazing job. Fantastic. Kind
Absolutely.
of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is where everything comes from. So
Yeah.
well done. And thank you so much. And really just everyone unmute yourselves, please, and say thank you so much to everyone involved this evening. It's really great to hear.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Everybody.
We really
Thank you
want
very
to
much.
thank the contributors
Very
and
good.
I mean the volunteers. I know that one of the contributors is here. she's just disappeared. It's okay. You know,
It's always the
and
way.
Can
yeah,
I say, Alex, just one thing? Harry Cumberbatch. I just sent you a message. Are you Akinola's granddad?
yes,
You remember
yes,
from like when the IROKO like summer schools?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, and you should be seeing him soon. You know,
Yeah, so
he's
how old is
coming
he
to visit.
now?
He'll be 19 this year. He's
Wow,
19.
Alex,
yes.
you remember him?
Juwon, we are going to speak about Akinola, so don't worry.
19 now. He was something like 12 when I
Amazing.
saw him last, I think.
Yeah,
I
you will
know, I
see him soon.
know. We all getting on, you know that.
Yeah.
People grow older. This happens. Well, listen, thank you so much, particularly to Alex, to Juwon, to Cynthia, to the team, to the dancers, Lizzie and Gab. And thank you so much to everyone for coming this evening. It's been wonderful. So good night, everyone.
I want to thank you too for supporting us. Thank you all, management committee members, everyone that is here, everyone.
Oh.
Thank you, Cynthia, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.